Welcome back to the Red Wings Report with Strings and Pucks. This is Jeremy Laura. For those of you who are new here, I write the Red Wings column for Hockey Hot Stove. It's since 2019. I've been a blogger and writer about the Red Wings, and so this channel was started as kind of a support for the writing that I was doing, to kind of give a visual representation of all the things that I've kind of put together while I do this work. If you're new here, please click like, please click subscribe. I'll have a link to my newest article on Hockey Hot Stove in the description. Head over there. Always appreciate your support. The red and white game finished up yesterday, and what's been a very short and intense training camp kind of came to a close. If you weren't able to see it, Team White beat Team Red 3-2. Goals by DeBrincat and Soderblom. Berggren and Finnie scored for Team Red. A couple of things that stood out, but in particular, there's a lot of chatter around Elmer Soderblom and Emmitt Finnie. When the Prospects had their two-day game in Dallas, Finnie was a huge presence down there. He's kind of come out, 7th round pick. He's growing in surges, and that's what makes him a potential, one of those 7th round gems Detroit used to get. So Finnie put on 10 pounds of muscle this summer. He's quicker and he's incredibly aggressive. The game in Dallas, if you saw his opening goal, it was a power move to the front of the net, tucks the puck in, first 30 seconds of the game. And he has started to get the attention of the coaching staff. Well, that continued into camp, where it sounds like every day Finnie showed up ready to compete, and it ended up giving him an opportunity to play on Dylan Larkin's line with Lucas Raymond. The flip side of that is that Elmer Soderblom had been on that line because that's where he'd been at the end of last season. Detroit wasn't able to get the top 6 forward they were looking for, so Dylan Larkin's left wing is an open audition. I'd said early on, and I've said multiple times, I think Danielson and Lombardi are top candidates for that, but right now they'd started with Soderblom, but given Finnie the chance. So in the game yesterday, I'd kind of typed a joke into my notes that Soderblom was going to try to get revenge for being knocked off of Larkin's line and put on the opposing team. Well, Soderblom ends up netting 2 goals. Elmer Soderblom, 6'8". If you remember his World Junior performances where he was scoring those, between the leg goals right in front of the net, this is going to be the toughest thing for him to address, is being an everyday player. When the opportunity is bigger, when the stage is bigger, he seems to just turn on the jets and go for it. So yesterday, his line, and I don't think you can ignore the performance of Amadeus Lombardi. Lombardi, he skates the puck until he opens up ice, and that's where Soderblom can really benefit, but you still have to have the hands to be able to finish it. The first goal, Lombardi skates into the zone, he dishes the puck to Soderblom, who throws it at the net from way back, just inside the blue line it looked like, and he goes 5-hole on Talbot. It was a bad goal to give up, but to Soderblom's credit, he's thinking shoot. He gets the puck right to the net, he doesn't waste any time. But Lombardi, he kind of set the table for that play, but honestly, Soderblom taking that shot from there and sneaking at 5-hole is just great decision making. His second goal was absolutely all Lombardi, just skating, opening up the ice. Soderblom is standing next to the net, and he goes to one knee and rips the shot when the puck gets to him. So Elmer is going to make his living standing in front of goaltenders. 6'8", you put skates on him, 6'10", 6'11", close enough to 7 foot, that it's a problem. And if he's doing his strength training well, he's going to be an immovable object. And he has good hands in tight, especially for a big player like that. So Soderblom kind of reminded everyone that he's fighting for the spot on Larkin's line. Now Finnie played pretty much the entire game on Larkin's wing. There was a little scare what looked like he got injured in the first period, but he did what you need to do when you're playing with Lucas Raymond. Lucas Raymond is the best 200-foot wing that Detroit has and has had in a long time. Raymond somehow got the puck into the zone, skating it. He's putting it between his feet. He's getting past defenders. And then he creates a rush. He gets by enough players to create a miniature odd man situation with Finnie at the net. Finnie just keeps his stick blade on the ice, and Raymond does the rest. He gets it to him for an easy tap in. Raymond creates so much with his speed and his skill. He worked all summer, it looks like, on disguising his shot. There's some clips online of him. He kind of twists his puck, and last minute he'll flick his wrist to disguise the shot, kind of like a pitcher getting a curveball. So Raymond's put in even more work because he wants to be the point per game guy, the 82-point guy. And Finnie, with his speed and his work ethic, is able to keep up with Larkin and Raymond. So what's happening and why this is a really good thing is Finnie is making it clear that a guy who wasn't really on anyone's list to be auditioning for Larkin's wing has pushed his way to getting a look at it. I don't necessarily think he'll be Larkin's winger for the year, but what I think it should be doing is making other players realize how big that opportunity is. And this young guy is pushing his way through the line with his work ethic. Coach McClellan mentioned specifically guys like Kopp and Comfer, when he was asked about them, that they have to bring it this year. They have to fight for their spot because they haven't performed up to their own expectations or the team's expectations, whether Kopp with injury and Comfer just had an off year last year. But a guy like Finnie is got to be your nightmare that this rookie could be grabbing a spot on the top line because he outworked you. But again, I don't think Finnie's going to start there, when the puck drops for the year, but I think he's one of the top 3 guys on the call-up list. For Soderblom, I think ultimately Elmer Soderblom's probably going to be a third-line wing and a first-line power play guy. He's so impressive getting in front of the net. And for O-zone face-offs, you may move him in if it looks like you can get a quick play done. But I think ultimately they still need to fill Larkin's wing. I think ultimately they still need to fill Larkin's wing with someone who's an exceptional talent. James Van Riemsdyk not being at camp kind of altered plans a bit. I don't know when he's going to get to town. There's a family situation. It sounds like his brother's family may be adding a kid to the mix. And so that's just awesome. They're going to be celebrating. But there's a very real desire to see Van Riemsdyk on Larkin's wing because of Van Riemsdyk's skill set as a player and what he's able to do. And Larkin still seems discontent about the situation with his wing. When asked about it, he doesn't really get too high or low. He was very complimentary of Finnie. He's been very complimentary of Soderblom, but he clearly wants someone that's the next level. I believe Danielson or Lombardi could fill that role, but those two really aren't getting the looks I thought they'd get. And I think Lombardi's been playing really well. So we'll have to see how that goes into camp, goes into preseason. But at this point, at the end of the day, Soderblom and Finnie are taking up all the oxygen in the room because of the way they're performing. Finnie because he's got an opportunity that's a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, and Soderblom because he's had that opportunity and wants it back. So they approach the red and white game the way every player needed to, that they're playing for a job. And now, starting tomorrow, we're going to see them see them head out and start playing other teams. Larkin kind of made the joke, they're sick of hitting each other, they're ready to hit someone else. So let me know what you think. Soderblom and Finnie, they have stood out, especially in the red and white game. Soderblom is reminding people why he got that opportunity. Finnie's trying to make the most of the opportunity that he's getting on Larkin's wing. But ultimately, I think you're still looking for the person who's going to fill in that wing. I'm hoping Danielson and Lombardi get looks, but I'm fairly positive James Van Riemsdyk will get a look when he gets to town. So let me know your thoughts. Thanks for stopping by. Please click like. Please click subscribe.